destroyed in the rebounding column. And so here we go. Houston, look at that record in true road games over the last 2 years. 14-1 road Warriors, and they've been on the road all week. As the Cougars have the ball first.
They looked for a backdoor cut that time.
There's Sanak, you just talked about him. Big man who can shoot from the outside. Misses his first try of the night.
Looked like they were trying to get Flemings on a backdoor cut as they lifted Tugler to that high post.
It was well defended by Utah. Terrence Brown whips one in the corner, and his teammate McHenry just stepped out of bounds.
If you're first time watching Utah, let me give you a little insight on what they like to do. Terrence Brown is an elite level scorer, averaging over 21 points per game. A lot of what Utah does is off the bounce. They have two ball dominant guards in Brown and McHenry, and they want to attack and apply pressure. So you've got to contain the dribble and force them to be a three-point shooting team.
Starting five for the Houston Cougars. Emmanuel Sharp, one of those players you talked about with all that championship level experience. Good look, missed the shot. Sanak is going to be called for a foul, going for the offensive rebound.
If you haven't watched Houston, let me give you a short scouting report on them. They defend, they're tough, they're physical, they're a Kelvin Sampson coach team. And they've got a star in Kingston Flemings. It's going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft.
I kind of like the Farnham cheat sheets at the start of games.
Trying.
Like a little quick scouting report. There's Dawes. His pass was deflected by that young player, Flemings. Dawes, good shot fake. Got Sanak in the air and dunks it down.
And Kelvin Sampson looking at Sanak and saying you cannot leave your feet. And as a defensive player, you need to understand who you're guarding. Dawes is not a great three-point shooter.
Uzan for three. That's the first bucket for Houston.
Milos Uzan getting better and better in those catch-and-shoot situations. Was on the ball a lot last year. They've kind of split it up as the season has progressed, but he's playing a lot more off the ball than he did a year ago.
Nice. Sharp, Uzan, Tugler, especially the guys with that experience playing in the national championship game last year. Skip pass. Now down low. James Okonkwo almost had it stolen away. Still 10 on the shot clock. Brown knocked out of bounds and off of him. Out of bounds, Houston basketball. All right, we welcome those of you joining us from Waco after BYU gets a much-needed road win. The Cougars' rivals, the Utah Utes, at home here tonight against number 3 Houston. Houston was just down in Provo over the weekend, beat BYU, trying to make it another win, 21-2. Third-ranked team in the country. Emmanuel Sharp from way outside hits the three. That's the second three-point bucket in these first couple minutes.
Uzan and Sharp have been the two that have knocked down the three-point shot. This is a Houston team that is elite on the road over the last 2 seasons. Just one loss that came this year against Texas Tech.
They almost steal the ball away, out of bounds off of Sharp.
And what makes them a great road team is their identity. It's the culture of their program. It's their ability that defense travels, their toughness travels, their rebounding travels. And the offense continues to get better and better. And obviously when you have a player like Kingston Flemings, that helps. But the veterans and the leadership of having 9 guys that wore a championship uniform a year ago on a Monday night matters for the Houston Cougars.
It's just a great mix Houston has. Big time young talent and then all that experience and really talented players who've been around a while. McHenry, shot clock winding down. A runner, that one's too strong. And the ball grabbed by Sanak. Good defensive board by the freshman big man. Pass intercepted. Uzan throws it away. On the break, the layup is good. Seydou Traoré.
If you don't value the basketball and you create live ball turnovers for Utah, you're going to allow them to play out in front of your defense. That's a key for Utah tonight, is can they create turnovers into runouts?
Yeah, you know it's going to be hard against Houston's half-court defense. Can you get some easier buckets?
Well, and Houston's not a team that turns the ball over. They're one of the best in the country at valuing the basketball.
Sanak, he's got such good touch from the outside. This guy's 6'11".
Smooth, very fluid with his lateral quickness, his feet, gets his feet set underneath him on those shots.
Terrence Brown averaging 21 a game. That pass knocked out of bounds. Utah will keep it with 12 to shoot. Right away, start of the game, Keanu Dawes, who's been playing his best basketball, sort of an announcement that he's come to play again tonight.
Yeah, a little shot fake, lifted the defensive player, and then it was allowed to finish all the way at the rim with nobody getting in his way. And his big attribute for tonight's game is going to be his rebounding ability. 3 straight games of over 10+ rebounds. They need his rebounds tonight against this Houston team. He needs to fight and scrap on the boards.
And Utah needs points from this guy, Terrence Brown, who's sort of hit a dry spell shooting the ball lately. Traore cut off baseline. Shot clock's about to go off. Utah doesn't know it. That's a shot clock violation.
Great defense by Houston. They can swarm you. They can overwhelm you. You lose track of the time up on the clock, and Utah has an empty possession. You know, all Houston's done since they've come to the Big 12 is what? Win conference championships. Like I say this often when I call Houston games. I remember when they left the American and everybody said, hey, you know what? Now they're going to really understand what it's like. They've been good, but now they're going to play in a real conference. They're playing in a different league, as the promo will tell you. The Big 12 basketball, it's different. It's elite. It's strong. It's the best in the country. And they've come in back-to-back years and they've won the championship.
Yeah, they have elevated. Traore had his shot rejected after the 3 made by Sharp, but he stayed with it. Offensive rebound and the putback goes down. That's a good sign for Utah. They're fighting on the glass here early. Houston's got the 2 big men in at the same time, Sacco and Stanak. So far, quiet start for Kingston Flemings, who's just so talented. Stanak misses the 3, long rebound. Utah's got it.
And Kingston's got to let the game come to him tonight, not forcing any of the issues. He has not had a shot attempt yet. One of the most talented freshmen in all of college basketball.
Brown almost traveled. Gave it up to young Kendall Sanders. Done some good things for Utah. Shot clock again. Winding down. Traore double team came. Dawes attacks, goes to the basket with the left hand, flipped it in, and a foul.
They keep leaving their feet with Dawes out on the 3-point line, and when you leave your feet, it's a flyby and then a drive-by. And Stanak is going to come out because, first of all, it's the flyby by Flemings, but then Stanak didn't rotate over to square his shoulders up and force Dawes not to be able to gain that momentum getting downhill. And I mentioned off the top, Dawes has been playing very well as of late. Last 4 games, averaging almost 16 points per contest. Increased opportunities this year, and you mentioned the guards of McHenry and Brown and how proficient they've been in scoring, but Dawes has been that 3rd guy and now is elevated up and saying, maybe I'm more than just the 3rd scoring option.
He looks like a much more confident player than when we saw him even just a few weeks ago.
Alex Jensen has done a great job with the Utes. And I know the record doesn't indicate as such, but they have been, and there's no moral victories, the coach will tell you that, in so many games, including that game at Allen Fieldhouse.
Flemings couldn't quite finish. Tip in goes, though. JoJo Tugler.
What does he do? He gets on the offensive glass. 58% of his rebounds this year are on the offensive glass. Just tie a bow on this. I think this Utah team has shown well. I think it's a foundational building year. You want to create a culture where it's clear what you do and what you do well. And they're trying to get there.
That one, I thought, went off the leg of McHenry. Instead, no backcourt violation. So Utah keeps it. Dawes maybe got away with a little push off and hit the tough jump shot. Different guy right now.
7 of the 11 points off of his fingertips.
That was a very difficult shot. They're double teaming Flemings, getting the ball out of his hand. Nice extra passing down the lane, and a foul. That was Ramon Walker.
And just understanding late shot clock, they had a shot clock violation earlier, utilizing that shoulder to get into the chest of Emmanuel Sharp and then step back and create that space. But Alex Jensen, again, is just starting to build the identity. You know, what this program is going to be, how hard you have to play. And in my conversation with him, one of the things he brought up earlier today was, you know, in the NBA, a lot of times you're making these adjustments consistently. in the college game he's learned already in his first season being on the sidelines is just a reminder of his time under Rick Majerus and how hard you have to compete, especially in this conference. If you're going to get wins, you have to show up and you have to play hard every possession. Otherwise, you're going to take a loss.
Alex, part of some of the all-time greatest Utah teams, he was a great player in his own right. So he knows how good this program can be. Many ways to go to get there. Hanging with Houston, though, here in the first half. Monte Abbey came up woefully short. Yeah, good look. That's a three that goes down. Nice pass to Sharp.
It's just a smart diagonal pass, utilizing his height to see over the top of the defense and delivering a ball where one of the best shooters in the country can catch it and knock it down.
Sharp already has hit 3 threes in the first not even 8 minutes.
4 of the 6 made shots by Houston have been from beyond the arc.
I think that's one thing about this particular Cougars team. McHenry makes his move. A 3 blocked by Flemings.
That's just great defense. Last 2 possessions in particular. That's the identity of who this Houston team is.
The Houston's identity under Kelvin Sampson has been so closely tied to toughness and rebounding defense. This has turned into an elite offensive team. Another good skip pass. This time, though, Walker could not hit the 3.
With the way Utah is loading to the ball, that diagonal skip pass is going to be open all night long.
McHenry 3.
He's the best three-point shooter with volume on this Utah roster.
Sharp, he's really feeling it. That one from way outside.
He's got that look like it might be a special, special night for him. Everything that's coming off his fingertips right now. We saw it at shoot-around. There was a moment where they put him on the scout team against the starters, and he just started cooking at their practice this afternoon. And it's one way to get yourself going, and that has carried over into tonight's contest.
4 of 5 threes in the first half. Dawes down the line. Oh my goodness. Keanu Dawes is playing above the rim.
Oh, hold on. I just need to catch my breath for a second.
Man.
Are you kidding me?
We're going to have to see that one again. Sharp, meanwhile.
Stop
Another one.
Oh, let's go.
He's got 5 threes in the first 9.5 minutes.
We've seen some great individual performances this year, and this game is shaping up to have a couple more.
No kidding. Abbey crossover move. Here goes Dawes again with Flemings. He dumped it down low along the baseline. That shot goes down. It was pretty crafty from Josh Hayes.
Utah is doing a really good job of handling the pressure. When they don't turn the ball over, they've had great efficiency. They're shooting 67% against this Houston Cougars defense early. Why not? Why not?
Got another one! 6 of them already.
Just give the ball again.
Utah's going to have to change the way they're double teaming Flemings.
He's hitting them from beyond NBA range.
Flemings got knocked to the ground. Open shooter, way short. Rebound Cougars.
Hey, I'd give the ball back to number 21. I'm not a smart man, but I would give the ball back to Emmanuel Sharp.
Yeah. Or how about a corner 3 for the freshman Isaiah Harwell? Sharp's got to touch it every time down the floor now. Got to.
I don't think I've ever seen a game in all 16 seasons at ESPN where there's been somebody that had 6 made threes before we got to the 9-minute mark of the first half.
It's just incredible. Meanwhile, we play on. We haven't had a whistle in a long time. We're about to be under 8. We haven't had the under 12 timeout. Dawes off Utes off 1 foot, air ball. So that's his first miss of the game. And Houston's going to burn a timeout.
That's just, there wasn't a stoppage of play.
We got a lot of highlights to go through. You want to start with a few of them?
I mean, Sharp has just been dead eye from the outside, but this one here, put it on Sports Center, top 10, could be #1. That's over JoJo Tugler, right down Main Street. By the way, he's also just one made three behind Marcus Sasser on the all-time career three-point list for Houston.
Just maybe to give it a little local flavor, the basket looks as big as the Great Salt Lake to Emmanuel Sharp here so far tonight.
He may never want to leave Utah after this.
They've been here, it seems like forever. Out of the timeout, shot clock winding down. Houston's got to get a shot off. Harwell, I think he knows that. Step back, too strong. Rebound Utes.
No Kingston Fleming's out on the floor right now. No Emmanuel Sharp out on the floor right now. One of the players that I've actually been impressed with recently has been Mercy Miller. A very talented kid coming out of high school, but I think he's just building on confidence and starting to find himself in this program. Talked to Kelvin Sampson about that earlier today. I think part of it's because it's been the scout team guard every game against these incredible guards that are starting for Houston, and you're seeing that maturity.
More good defense from Houston. That one almost banked in. Sort of desperation heave by Kendall Sanders. Milos Uzan. He thought about pulling up for three. Sharp's not going to stay on the bench for long. He's coming to the scorer's table.
I think he's going to come in for Harwell.
You can't cool him off. Guy this hot. Uzan throws one in.
Well, it's what it does also is when you have a player that's that hot, it starts to stretch the defense, right? Because everybody starts to go, man, that guy's on fire. We got to try to turn his water off. And so it extends out the defense, which will create driving gaps for Uzan and for Flemings when Sharp is out on the floor.
Looks for Utah on this end are a little harder to find. McHenry stepped back, missed the three.
Been almost no stoppage in the play. I mean, there's been Houston had to call that timeout just to get to the under 12 because there's been no fouls and it's just been back and forth.
Next whistle, we're going to have another one of those timeouts. Here's Mercy Miller, the guy you're talking about, hits the tough shot.
He really, you just see it, like he's growing. And if he stays the process and understands the growth that has right in front of him, I think he's going to achieve what he wants. And if you talk to him, he wants to be an NBA player one day. He's getting much better at the defensive end of the floor and offensively under complete control and command.
JoJo Tugler just reached in, committed a foul, and that takes us to another timeout.
Yeah, good job of getting to your spot, elevating up, being able to finish a mix.
It's a crowded field.
It is. It's immensely crowded. The late mid-season Wooden Award came out. I know we've got that graphic somewhere. More players from the Big 12 than any conference in the country. Almost 50% of the list came from the Big 12.
Good pass. McHenry three, in and out. So the drought continues. Utah hasn't scored in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Well, Emmanuel Sharp is back on the floor. Let's see if he keeps it dialed up.
I'm thinking he wants to get another shot off.
I'm here for it.
Flemings is still on the bench. Uzan went right by the defense.
Man, that was too easy. That was way too easy. They're getting everywhere they want right now. 63% shooting in the first half here on the road for the Houston Cougars.
Utah needs a bucket badly. McHenry, that's a tough one. And they're going to call a foul.
I just mentioned it. Here's the late mid-season top 20. These are the Big 12 players. And obviously Kingston Fleming's in this game, but Joshua Jefferson, who Huck was talking about in that studio break for Iowa State's had a great season. The duo of Anderson and Toppin have been phenomenal at Texas Tech. Jaden Bradley's been a closer till last night. They didn't really finish that game off, but AJ with another huge game tonight. What do you have, 36 points tonight?
Devonta had 36. Yesufu had 37 for Baylor tonight in that game. Kind of a wild game down in Waco. I can't wait for the early late season Wooden update.
That's coming next.
Yeah. Next update.
Just great hands that time by Sharp, getting the deflection on the entry pass.
So that's a turnover. Sinak catch and shoot three. No. Tugler offensive rebound, and he was fouled. Well, big SEC doubleheader tomorrow starting at 7 Eastern. The Florida Gators, who just keep climbing and climbing, 14th ranked team in the country. That's at 7 Eastern. Then Tennessee, Mississippi State at 9 Eastern. That's tomorrow, Wednesday on ESPN2.
That Florida-Georgia game pretty good. I mean, Georgia, solid season, but this guy right here has been a monster as of late. Ruben Chinaloo. The way he gets on the glass and just his desire to get after the ball. I mean, double-double after double-double. And there's been games where he's had more than 10 offensive rebounds to go with more than 10 defensive rebounds.
Whatever was happening with Florida early in the year, a little hangover, just a tough schedule, getting used to each other, whatever it was, they seem to have figured some things out.
Todd Golden's got that thing figured out. I mean, he's just an elite-level coach, and good cut that time. Uzan got caught on the high side. They didn't tag as the screen went on. They got a number situation here.
Miller gave it up, though. So we got Terrence Brown matched up against Emmanuel Sharp, who since he's come back in, hadn't gotten a shot off. That's another turnover. Brown almost lost it, and then a foul call. So that's a couple of those style turnovers for Uzan, who's usually so reliable with the ball.
Yeah, just very careless with that pass. That's his second turnover that Uzan has had so far in this game.
And Terrence Brown's been quiet in the first half. Hadn't even taken an official shot from the field.
That was a very rushed release on his free throw there. He's a guy that's averaging over 20 points per game. He transferred in from Fairleigh Dickinson University, where he averaged about 21 points per game. They needed scoring, and they went out and they got him. And he's struggled over the last 3 games. You mentioned his shooting has been off. He hasn't hit a three-point shot in 3 games. They need to get him going if they have any chance of getting back into this game and trying to pull off an upset.
Sharp, they seem to be paying a little closer attention.
I get right back to him. He's wide open, and Kingston missed him.
He was open. Instead, that's a 3 for Chase McCarty. Not as good of a shot when you got a guy who's just been on fire.
They got to find a way to free him up again. He was free, and everybody on the court. There's times where you get somebody that's going off, and you know it's their night. You got to continue to feed him.
McCarty fell down. Routes of travel. James Okonkwo turns it over. So timeout on the floor here in Salt Lake City. 3:21 to go first half.
3-12 right now. Melvin Council. He's the reason why. The ball in his hands, he's just been right play after right play.
Yeah, what a win last night. What a game. And Lawrence, Emmanuel Sharp, the guy that Zubin and Malcolm were highlighting. We've talked a lot about it. He hasn't shot the ball from the field in 6 minutes. Houston's got to get him a look. He's got the ball now. 3 minutes to go until halftime. Sharp, instead of shooting a 3, got bumped. That's a foul against Utah.
He turned around and shot it anyways after the whistle.
Even
they still made it.
Yeah.
This year in the Big 12, Atwell from Texas Tech, Momcilovic, they both have had 7 made threes in a single half. Obviously, right now sitting at 6 for Emmanuel Sharp.
Sharp on the baseline. They'll draw a foul and go to the free throw line. So it's not all 3s for Emmanuel Sharp.
He's crafty. I mean, he's crafty with the ball. He can turn. He can shoot those shots off of one leg. Create space by it. His season best is 27. I think that's in jeopardy tonight.
To the free throw line for Houston, 21, Emmanuel Sharp.
5th year in this program. Misses at the line. Well, Saturday, 8 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. The Women's College Game Day crew are going to be down in Baton Rouge to get you ready for a huge game in the SEC. Number 3, South Carolina. Number 6, LSU on the women's side, 8:30 Eastern, Saturday on ABC and the app.
Joyce Edwards, Flau'jae Johnson. 2 of the very best on the women's side. That's going to be a fun one.
First point in a while for Sharp.
They don't it's not a bad thing for him to get to the free throw line. We talked about this. You and I always mentioned shooters love to see the ball go through the hoop, and you haven't got a shot off in 6 minutes. One of the ways to get yourself back in a rhythm is get to the free throw line. That's really good defense by McCarty.
Almost stolen away. Utah lucky to keep it.
Almost in full denial on Dobbs. By the way, Emmanuel Sharp, we talked about his offense. Who's it guarding? Terrence Brown.
Yeah. Utah's leading scorer. Fleming switched to him, and he played good defense and then grabbed the defensive rebound. Here's Sharp in transition, gave it up. I really thought he was just going to pull up.
This has been a clinic by Emmanuel Sharp, though. You're defending Brown, not allowing him to get a single shot off until that last foul.
No whistle. Knocked to the floor. Brown in transition, layup good.
That's his first made field goal of the game, and he came in transition.
Utah has had a few transition buckets. That's kind of keeping them in the neighborhood. Down 11, under 2 minutes to go first half. Fleming's Brown playing him tough. Fleming's, I think, was looking for the whistle.
That was a forced look that time by the freshman.
Brown uses a screen, skips it into the corner. 3 on the way, no good. It's a good look for Traore.
Standing around on this offensive possession, finally starting to see some movement. Get the ball to Sharp.
Yeah, there he is. 3 on the way. Not this time.
And that's the matchup you want, though. I mean, size advantage, able to shoot up over the top.
I mean, he was a few feet behind the line, but that was a good look. And now Utah's going to use the timeout. With 1:08 on the clock here in the first half.
I thought there should have been a foul on that drive. But regardless, if it's not called, you can take advantage of it and defensively have to get behind the ball. And Terrence Brown now got a couple of points, 3 points in the first half. All of them have come in the last minute and 15 seconds.
That's interesting as Sharp's having the monster half. The 2 freshmen, Senak and Fleming's very quiet. Senak 2 points. Fleming's hasn't scored. Really unusual for him. On the baseline, layup is good. That was an explosive move, Traore. Well, Utah's only down 9.
They're closing this half exactly where I think Alex Jensen would want them to. They've started to play much better defense. I think Houston's forced the offense a little bit.
Butler gave it up and almost turned it over, trying to get it back, and that one's stolen away.
The guards making uncharacteristic passes for Houston tonight, whether it's Uzan's two turnovers, and I don't know what Kingston Flemings was looking at that he thought that was going to be a good option.
His coach is yelling at him while he plays defense on this end. There's about a 4+ second difference between game clock and shot clock. McHenry got pinned, had to give it up. Brown, shot clock winding down. Runner hit the rim. Here comes Houston. They got some time. Sharp 3. No. That would have been a fitting way for the first half.
They need to re-engage him and apply pressure through him, and then try to see if they can get Terrence Brown going.
Well, we'll see. There's Terrence Brown immediately double teamed. Utah has the ball to start the second half here in Salt Lake City. Dawes looking to be aggressive, draws a foul right away.
And right into the body of Senak. It's an interesting half. You and I were talking about it as we were walking around the court. You know, Terrence Brown averaging 21 points per game, only 1 of 3 shooting. Kingston Flemings, who's had such a sensational season, only 2 shot attempts, no field goals made in the first half.
Senak scored a bucket early, nothing since then. So some of the big stars in this game have been really quiet. Brown catch and shoots 3, and no whistle. Brown went to the floor. Let's say out of bounds. Utah's going to keep it. Brown kind of trying to sell a call there or what?
He did.
Shot clock at 7. And they're asking Tony Padilla, the officials are talking, should we reset that shot clock?
The key of selling a foul is to get the official to buy the sell. If you sell and the official doesn't buy, you're just laying on the ground.
That's not good for anybody.
No.
catch a piece of the rim.
No, we cut the bottom of the backboard.
Yeah. So the shot clock at 7. I think that's the way it should be.
And they keep it at 7. And we got a foul on Emmanuel Sharp grabbing Brown's jersey as he started to try to come off the screen. Good call.
And that's 2 very quick fouls. We played 25 seconds. Houston's committed 2 fouls. Maybe Utah can get back in this game with free throws. How about that play? Milos Uzan knocked the inbound pass right back to the inbounder who was standing out of bounds.
And he just stood there and let it happen. He didn't even try to get out of the way.
He was just shocked. So Houston, after all that, gets the ball back. Uzan trying to find somewhere to go with the ball.
Early on, the diagonal pass over the top of this defense as they swarmed was the right play to make. And they've gotten away from that.
Tugler with the left hand.
What I loved about that was the poise and composure, right? He didn't rush it at all. He got to his spot at his pace and then allowed him to go up and finish with ease.
Practice today, Kelvin Sampson was preaching to his team about JoJo Tugler's basketball IQ. Just knows how to make the right play.
And part of that is reading the defense and making the right decision.
Another pass deflected, this time by Flemings. Flemings out of the open court. Drives baseline. Found Sharp. A little push shot, no good. Sanak into the corner. Fleming still has not scored. That's just his sweet spot there.
But he's not missing if he gets there. Like he was wincing a little bit, and he gave a thumbs up to Kelvin Sampson as he was coming back down the floor.
You know, he took that, I think it was like a knee to the quad in the first half, kind of limped around for a few minutes. I wonder if that's still bugging him. Turnover, Tugler steals it away, dumps it home. Timeout, Utah.
Well, that's just great defense. You talked about JoJo Tugler and his ability to play with just a high basketball IQ. First of all, Kingston Fleming, so getting going, an opportunity to get to his spot. When he gets to the Big 12 logo, it's almost automatic every single time. It just gets into
Houston and Utah and the Cougars, an inspired look in the first couple minutes of the second half.
Utah's only had 1 shot attempt and 3 turnovers to start this second half in the first 2 minutes.
There they get a shot off. Missed it though. So step 1, get some shots off.
Good point, Dave.
Step 2, make those shots.
Brilliant.
You know, if you need me to fill in on the analyst side, I'm willing to do that. Uzan, crossover move. Uzan. He's kind of been lost in the shuffle in some ways with Sharp's sharp shooting and the young freshman, but Milos Uzan's still a really good player.
He's a great player. The more you watch this team, and you and I are lucky, we get to go to shoot around and we get to see how detail-oriented they are.
Dunk for Dawes.
That's what they need a lot more of if you're Utah. Their ability to screen and talk, and those switch on that screen allowed him to run free to the rim. But we spend time in how detail-oriented Houston is. You can understand why they just wear on you. And they test you mentally, and why they're one of the best teams in the country. But they got to communicate sometimes, and if you don't communicate on-ball screens, even the best defensive teams can get beat. And Dawes, that's his 3rd dunk of the night.
Kelvin Sampson, we were talking to Kelvin about, okay, so how do you reach your ultimate ceiling as a team? Eliminate mistakes was his big message. He doesn't expect mistakes from the experienced guys like Uzan, who made one on the defensive end. He made another one, and then he tripped the Utah player.
Uzan's going to get pulled out of this game right now. Kelvin Sampson. But one thing you know about the Cougars, accountability. If you're losing your man, you cannot let him face cut and get you on his backside going to the rim. It just can't happen. And you know, you get lost on the previous possession with no communication and give up a dunk, and that time you have a player cut right in front of your face, and you just run over the top of it.
Uzan saying, well, how come that's a shooting foul? Why is Sanders at the free throw line?
Utah, you'll They'll take any opportunity to get 3 points.
Sanders got it to go. 8 for 26 free throw shooter on the year before that one. And Milos is headed to the bench.
Utah's had some success when they've been able to get into the interior of this Utah defense. I mean, this Houston defense. They have struggled from beyond the arc. If I'm Houston, just keep the paint clogged. This is a 1 for 10 shooting night from beyond the arc so far by the Utes.
One thing, Houston, as good as their defense is, they don't have a great rim protector, shot blocker on this team.
Missed a little bit of that Juwan Roberts from a year ago.
Sharp hits another 3. That's his first one in a long time, but it's his 7th of the game. And it also ties him to Marcus Sasser for the all-time career 3-point made record in the history of Houston basketball.
Incredible career. That's going to go Houston ball as well. That's another deflection, active hands. It's Terrence Brown's fault for picking up the dribble where he picked it up. I mean, you can look at Traore and say, hey, you got to do it. But this is the rhythm threes that we were seeing in the first half. He just dribbles to his left, gets his feet set underneath him. Defense giving up too much space.
So he's got 7 tonight. The all-time Big 12 single game record is 12. Just saying. Here's Sharp.
Could be another one.
Could be. Not this time.
Yeah, that was wide open. That's one of the cleanest looks he's had all night long.
Draws outlet pass. Or he backs it back out. Brown gives it up from the corner. 3, no good. Fight for the ball and saved, but Houston keeps it. Sharp wasn't looking to shoot that time.
I don't mind it. You want him to be aggressive, but it's okay to slow it down a little bit and kind of get into your rhythm.
This time, that one goes.
You got to get into his rhythm. and Alex Jensen just looking like, really? Look, as a coach, that's the most infuriating thing ever. Because at this point in time, you're just like, can't let him shoot. You guys are wrestling with screens and leaving a guy that now has 8 made threes to have a clean look from deep. It's been Emmanuel Sheep. But I think it's pretty safe once again to say that metric is going to hold true again.
Yeah, there sure are some good teams in there, and Houston's a part of that. Arizona's definitely a part of that. Our friend Ken Pomeroy, he's a Utah guy. I think he still lives in the state of Utah.
Good, great back cut.
Dawes flipped it up and in. That was a nice little play run by the Utes.
He's just moving so well without the ball, and that's what we talked about him at halftime. They had a great first half, and then he kind of disappeared. And he's made the only 2 field goals here in the second half for Utah.
Sharp.
Going to stay with him, I imagine, coming out of that timeout.
I would think that's part of the message. Can we please guard number 21?
They're doubling him. That means other guys are going to have wide open looks.
Uzan was wide open. Missed the shot.
There's no way if you're Utah, you just can't let Sharp get another clean look. If you're going to make a mistake running to the hottest player on the floor, the guy that's got 25 points.
You saw those 3-point shooting numbers. 9 made from Houston, 8 from one guy alone. Emmanuel Sharp. A steal. Yeah, very weird transition attempt from Isaiah Harwell.
Been trying to avoid the foul. Just go through. At least get the contact and get to the free throw line. But he was. I want to say he wanted to avoid the foul that much that he threw up a wild shot.
Iron Sharp grabs a rebound.
Terrence Brown is really struggling again tonight, and they need him.
Call a foul away from the ball. Well, we got an ABC women's basketball doubleheader on Sunday afternoon. Number 11 Duke and number 21 North Carolina. So Duke, Carolina on the women's side at 1 Eastern, and Texas, Tennessee 3 Eastern on Sunday.
Yeah, Duke had a big win, I think, last week on the road against Louisville. And that Texas team is as good as any team on the women's side this year.
Usan, pull up 3, short. They're going to call a foul on the floor, I think, against Utah again. Tugler had good position.
Just applies so much pressure with his ability and his knack to get a hand on the ball and be active on the offensive glass. But right now, Utah's definitely ramped up their perimeter defense. I mean, they forced Houston to basically play behind the three-point line that entire possession.
Sharp caught it off the inbounds.
Oh, he could pull on this one.
He did. Sharp off the front of the iron.
You thought that was down, didn't you?
I thought it went in.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you got me.
I think every shot that's coming off his fingertip is going down tonight.
Looks pretty good. The first one, you could tell in the early minutes of this game. Henry got kind of tripped, but that was incidental contact. Out in transition, Harwell shoots a 3. No. Tugler, great hustle, and then tried to save it in bounds, but Utah comes away with it. His own 3. Big time miss.
Some interesting shots there.
That's one way to describe them. Short gave it up. Usan goes by. Switch to the left hand, but he missed it. And now they're going to call Tugler for a foul.
Well, Sharp's been special tonight. Utah, they have struggled from beyond the arc. He is 8 of 13 from beyond the arc, and you look at the all-time career leader now in made three-pointers over the course of his career. Just a tremendous player.
History of one of the great programs in this sport.
Let's take a seat. Well-deserved break with 25 points, but yeah, it just really speaks to tonight's game. To me, speaks to why Houston's such a complete team. Like a lot of people last year were like, "What happens when LJ Crier's not there?" They insert Kingston Flemings and different player, but a very special player.
Oh, what a blocked at the rim. Tugler as Traore tried to go up and dunk it down.
But then it just lifts Emmanuel Sharp, who's healthy this year, doesn't battle the ankle injury that he had a year ago, and just how fluid and how smooth he is.
Flemings, and the tip in is good. That's McCarty. Kelvin Sampson giving his younger players, some of them at least, a chance for some extended minutes with a 19-point lead.
All 3 of them on the floor right now, and Harwell, McCarty, and Miller.
You asked Kelvin Sampson today, what are you looking for from those guys?
And what he said was that they've had a better understanding of how they have to play. It's timing of offensively when to look for their shot, or the timing in particular on defense to communicate. Good closeout.
Yeah, that ball was deflected. It's going to go out of bounds. That's a shot clock violation.
That's good defense by Mercy Miller, and that's where I'm talking about the growth that you see with Mercy Miller. And he just understands what he's being asked to do, and he's grown so much in his defensive game. And a lot of times people talk about, well, he's a top 100 recruit, so he's just got to go, right? Like, he scored 60 points in a high school game for Notre Dame Sherman Oaks. So that's not it. You got to learn how to play at this level and what it takes to truly understand your growth as an individual player, because this he can do.
Tried to give it up. It deflected over to Tugler, who uses the glass.
He can beat you off the bounce, and he can make plays.
And that's really Kelvin Sampson's message about his young guys. You know, play mistake-free, clean up the mistakes. He knows he's got other stars to carry the load. But in a big game, whether it's the Big 12 tournament, yeah, that was a good effort by McCarty, diving all over the place. Can I count on some solid minutes? If I need one of those guys or a couple of those guys in a really big situation, can I count on them to play mistake-free?
Yeah, and I think that you're starting to see that. Like, I think Sinak was going to come in for McCarty right there, but because of that play, Kelvin Sampson was like, nope, you got to sit back down. He earned some more playing time, selling out like that at the defensive end of the floor. And he's all about rewarding effort.
You have to play with high effort if you're going to play for Houston. They've cut off the Utah offense. Shot clock down under 3. Dawes from 3 off to the side. That's another shot clock violation.
It's just elite level defense here in the second half. You're talking about a team now that's 2 for 11 shooting the basketball. They rotate over in the help side position. Tugler able to block it, and then defending at the three-point line, getting the block shot. Mercy Miller contesting without fouling, and then just, you got to sell out. Loose ball, who wants it more? And more often than not, it's the team wearing the black uniform. Not just tonight, but every night.
Pass deflected. Here is Mercy Miller. Used a crossover move, little reverse. He'll go to the free throw line. Now you can see the glimpses. He just hasn't played a whole lot. He's starting to play more, earning more minutes. You can see the glimpses of talent.
Well, and I think part of that growth and the maturation, I talked about it with you at Shooting Ground, is, again, playing the point guard position against these guards that defend at the level in which they do. If you can handle going to practice every day and getting tested by the guards that he plays against, you would be excited when the ball hits your hands on most nights.
Big ovation here at the Huntsman Center. Jerry Long is a walk-on, kind of a scout team player. He's in the game.
Or if you miss 2 free throws, you get shake.
Okay, maybe that was it. I was trying to give these Utah fans credit for being so supportive of one of their guys.
They just wanted a burger.
Don't blame them. Mercy Miller shattered their burger dreams with a made.
Well, and even that play right there by Mercy Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, just Harwell rotated over. Mercy came on the backside. Kelvin Sampson, he's going to review this.
He's using a coach's challenge.
Now the key will be, will they have the evidence necessary? But I like the defensive effort.
This is interesting though, because it's a
Out
young
of bounds
guy.
play on the floor is being challenged by Houston.
Thank you, Tony. We'll let that. What a coach.
It's incredible.
He really is. I mean, there may not be just a better basketball coach in the whole sport than Kelvin Sampson.
I feel like when we go to his shoot-arounds, it's like a behind-the-scenes look at a master class of how it's done.
You feel like you're learning something, not just every time you go. It's like every few minutes you're learning something. Incredible attention to detail, intensity level. Tugler, left hand, missed the shot. Here comes Brown. One-on-one against Flemings, who challenged, but Brown scored.
And for Terrence Brown, that's just a second made field goal for a player averaging 21 points per game. Sits at 5 points right now.
Flemings, great pass, and dunks it down.
Doing the shake up top to create the space, and then the awareness of where Sinak was on the back line. Elite.
Break down a defender, then thread a bounce pass for a dunk. Into the corner. That three is good. Traore.
Just the second made three of the game. They're 2 of 16 from deep.
Houston's made 9 of them. Of course, 8 of those from Emmanuel Sharp. Mercy Miller off iron, long rebound. Flemings. Kingston Flemings
somebody off the bounce, right? It forces the defense to start to have to rotate. You vacate space on that back line, and I promise you, if you leave space around the basket, there's going to be a Houston Cougar that tries to go get the offensive rebound.
Sharps at the scorer's table. Brown found a way to get that one to go.
Kingston Fleming's did a short tug in the last possession. She needs one.
We are, what, 4,500 feet above sea level, something like that.
I think Kelvin Sampson understood that he wanted to get fresh legs back out on the floor, but Sanak being aggressive and understanding, hey, I got a guard that will find me, and if he finds me, I'll be able to finish. And then somebody lost that game in Portland last Wednesday, came back and won on Saturday. Here's a look at what Joey Lenardi says right now. This is what the seeds would look like in his eyes if the tournament began today.
Which it doesn't.
Correct. But you can look at a lot of teams inside that top 4 seed line, and I think that talks to the strength, though, overall of the Big 12 at the top.
Houston's on the rise. Iowa State trying to avoid, we just got the update from Zubin, avoid an upset. TCU, the thing about TCU is their record doesn't look great, but they've fought a lot of these really good teams in the Big 12 hard.
They are literally like 7 possessions away from being on that list on the season. And a 1-possession loss essentially to Michigan earlier this year.
Had the game
at Kansas.
Allen Fieldhouse. Had good passing from Utah. Will they finally shoot? They will. A layup. That was a good possession.
That was a good possession because that was really good defense by Houston. They were swarming and flying around. And Utah handled the ball, moved it, forced them to have to defend multiple sides of the court. Get the ball to Emmanuel Sharp.
I would too. He got absolutely drilled coming across the court.
And Kelvin Sampson saying that's a blatant foul.
Yeah. That was borderline cheap shot. ESPN NBA Wednesday doubleheader. Lots of star power in this one. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks playing some great basketball lately, taking on the Sixers. And you got the Spurs and the Warriors at 10 Eastern. Wednesday NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern.
Presented by Lilly.
Good company guy. 17-point lead for Houston. You know, speaking of Kansas and Allen Fieldhouse. Shot fake here for Houston. Shot clock winding down. Harwell used a screen and then just came up way short on the 3. Traore, he'll draw a foul and go to the free throw line. We were talking with Tony Padilla, one of the officials here in this game today. He was in Lawrence last night, and I just asked him about what a great game that was. And Tony said, you know, I've been there probably 25 times in my career to officiate a game. And he thought that was the loudest he's ever heard it last night. It's just saying something.
It came across that way through the TV. I mean, it really did. And again, what Bill Self has done with that team and the yo-yoing back and forth. Will Darren Peterson play? Will he not play? What are you going to get out of him when he does play? How long will he play? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on that can be a distraction. But as the season has progressed, that Kansas Jayhawks team has just gelled and continued to come together. And it's like, if he's there, he's there. If he's not, he's not. Last night, he was not there. And as great as a player as Darren Peterson is, that team played an outstanding basketball game last night. I agree with Tommy Lloyd when he was asked, when did you find out about it? The 10 minutes beforehand, the guy wanted to ask a follow-up question. He goes, guys, their coach just coached a great game. Their kids just played a great game. It's about them. It's not about whether or not Darren Peterson played.
Little run here for Utah. Mercy Miller got a good look, came up short, followed his own miss. Didn't find Sharp, who was open for a minute. Miller drives. Miller got fouled.
Everybody on the bench wanted him to finish that one and earn the free throw line. It's a great move, but that's where that growth needs to continue to happen for Mercy Miller, because that should be an N1 opportunity for him. And I think he got caught in the air trying to decide whether or not he was going to dunk it or whether he's going to try to lay it up.
That's his second missed free throw here in the last few minutes. And now here we go.
They're cheering not because anybody's coming in the game.
Okay, I got it now.
Really why Mercy misses the first free throw is just to antagonize the faithful students that are here tonight.
It's a tease.
You're getting free food. No, you're not.
You'll get nothing.
Look at the defense. Emmanuel Sharp, as much as we talk about his offense, his defense has been incredible again tonight.
From start to finish. This guy's made 8 threes. His team is up by 17 with 4 minutes to go. He's playing as hard as he can. Step back. Off to the side. Sharp tracks down the long rebound. Credit to Emmanuel Sharp. That is leadership. 5th year in this program.
Your standard is the standard, right? What is the standard that is expected? And when your oldest players, the guys that have been around longer, do it better than anybody else, it's easy to follow.
Houston hasn't made a shot in a while. It hasn't really mattered. They've locked down Utah on this end. Just a dominant defensive night. Another steal, this time Miller down into the passing lane. Miller 1-on-2 with the left hand. Now that was a great finish.
It's that defense that leads to offense. Look at how everybody surrounds him because it's part of the culture. When you give everything you got to create a possession and just active hands by Mercy Miller.
Yeah, we've had a few.
Davis Vogel, man, I mean, he is a special freshman. He's got some swag to him. And he, with Brayton Huff being out, they need him to be a consistent scorer for the Zags.
It's a different calculus right now with no Huff. For a while, they were missing Huff and Ike. You saw those numbers, by the way, as we came back from break. An amazing shooting night for Emmanuel Sharp when nobody else is making shots from the outside. He passed up the 3 here. Yeah, should have shot the 3. Still fighting for the ball. Sharp's made 8 threes. Everybody else in the game is 3 for 30 from 3-point range.
Tough.
Nice. Ugly. Houston can make it ugly sometimes. Again, shot clock winding down. They call it.
Oh my gosh, foul on Mercy Miller. Kelvin Sampson, I don't think was happy about that.
No.
Houston fouls called number 25, Mercy Miller, his second personal.
You play defense and then you have a foul like that and you're just going, hey. You know, I mean.
To the free-throw line for your running Utes, number 2, Terrence Brown.
His players play hard from whistle to whistle. He coaches hard. Start of the game to the end of the game.
Post game. Practice.
And it's just the attention to detail in everything they do.
Well, and that's why there's no slippage. Like Kelvin Sampson will say, like, we don't have bad practices. The reason why he says you don't have bad practices is because he doesn't allow his guys to have bad practices. Like the standard in which they have to execute. We'll be here at shoot around and Kingston Flemings will make a mistake and at shoot around. Line it up. And Kingston stay on the line and he'll have to run. Like it's everybody. It's not just the guys, it's everybody is held to the standard of how you have to execute.
Quiet night overall for the spectacular freshman Kingston Flemings. That one doesn't go. Offensive rebound. It's been kind of frustrating for him. Sharp again passed up the 3 to lay it in.
And just know that they're going to hard close out and use that hard closeout against him. Really impressive performance by Emmanuel Sharp. Season best was 27. He has tied that now.
It's his first 2-point bucket. Under 2 minutes to go. So Houston, after this long trip, they'll get a chance to go back home. Kelvin Sampson calling timeout. Get a couple extra players in the game. He doesn't actually want a timeout.
He just wanted a sub.
He just, please don't stop this game. Friday is when they left home. So here we are. They get home and they go
makes that
morning
trip
hours.
feel better. 2 wins.
2-0.
And again, they travel, right? 15-1 is what they're going to be on the road in the last 2 seasons.
That's true road games. How about that?
So it's just a beautiful screen and just dive right to the center of the paint. Nobody tagged, no communication on the on-ball screen. And Kingston Flemings gets another assist. We talked about this off the top. This was the record coming into the game. Look at that win percentage. 93% win percentage on the road, and it only improves tonight when they get to 15-1.
Yeah, look, they're true road games. It's not like they're going to places that aren't,
They're in the Big 12.
difficult. They're in the Big 12.
You're in the best conference in college basketball.
Brown made 1 of 2. Final minute of this game. Flemings, gosh, he's so frustrated by these shots at the rim that are not going down. Miller also missed one from close range. 2-on-2, Brown, trailer, Sanders, layup good with a foul.
The crazy part is that it's so much good at what Houston has done tonight, right? But it's these little moments like this that Kelvin Sampson's going to talk about and show. You guys, a couple times tonight in the second half, the Uzan back-to-back possessions where he got caught behind the guy that was cutting to the hoop, not communicating, not being aware. It's those little plays that he's talking about when saying, can you eliminate the losing plays? And it's not the turnovers, because this team doesn't turn the ball over. They only have 5 turnovers tonight on the game. It's the breakdown of the defensive principles and rules of this team and not executing and playing it physical as you have. Like that right there is inexcusable, that there's no communication on a side out of bounds and you allow Dawes to roll right to the rim and get a wide open dunk.
Another good game for him. Sanak, Kelvin Sampson was coaching him hard in transition defense today.
Well, just understand that as a center in high school, it's really easy. You just run to the rim. And now you're playing the 4. You're not just running to the rim. You got to identify where shooters are on the outside. You have to talk. You have to communicate. You have to listen to your teammates as they're trying to direct you where you need to go, even if you're in that trail situation. You're the trail player in transition.
Kingston Fleming's just 1 of 8 shooting. A lot of those from this range where he's normally just almost automatic. Maybe that'll make him feel a little bit better.
Foul. There's too many fouls down the stretch here.
Houston foul number 4, Kingston Fleming's his first.
Well, one last reminder, SEC doubleheader for you tomorrow night. Florida, Georgia, 7 Eastern, Tennessee, Mississippi State, 9 Eastern. That's tomorrow on ESPN2. You look over Kelvin Sampson's team's had this road trip. They've won 2 games. He's watched his sharpshooter set an all-time career record for 3-pointers made. Emmanuel Sharp. He doesn't look all that happy.
He coaches every possession like it's the first possession, regardless of the score of the game. And he demands that his team does the exact same thing.
3-pointers made, 27 points, and now the all-time Houston 3-point leader. The Cougars are going to just dribble out the final seconds here, and the 3rd-ranked team in the country will be 22-2, 10-1 in Big 12 play. Utah is struggling. Houston handles business here on this Utah road trip.
Dominated in second chance points, dominated in points off of turnovers, and they had the best shooter in the gym, and it wasn't even close. Emmanuel Sharp's night, what he did not only offensively, but if you break down what he did defensively against Terrence Brown, this was a great all-around game for Emmanuel Sharp.